What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to a brand new episode of Caffeinate, today for May the 9th of 2019. My name is Samuel Adams, and welcome to today's show. Of course, as always, I do hope this one finds you well, and if you happen to be brand new to the program, this is a daily gaming news podcast where I bring you the hottest gaming news from around the industry, and I keep you guys up to date on what is happening in the industry we all love. And today, ladies and gents, we have some leaked details about that brand new Ghost Recon game, which of course is getting a worldwide announcement today. Looks to be pretty much in the same vein as Wildlands, if we're being honest here, but we'll talk about what we know so far on today's show. On top of that, today marks the beginning of Fortnite Season 9. I will tell you about those patch notes, about all the brand new changes to the game for those that are still playing Fortnite. Loot boxes may become illegal in the United States if a brand new bill passes. Monster Hunter World has shipped a very impressive 12 million units since launch. Again, Capcom's best-selling game ever, just keeps on going. Halo the Master Chief Collection supports cross-platform progression between PC and the Xbox One. On top of that, there's a brand new John Wick game coming out, and I believe that I have one additional story that I saw just a couple of moments ago that I did want to add, because it is a very significant one from Engadget, because I have a way that you can play the original Minecraft in your browser for free, and we will add that to today's show. But that is your lineup for the day. Again, if you are brand new to the show, welcome on in. I do hope you enjoy what you find. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's top stories. Ubisoft Store Leak apparently gives up the next Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon Breakpoint for PS4, Xbox One, and PC is coming out in October. A listing for what appears to be the next Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon game leaked through Ubisoft's own online store earlier yesterday. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is the game's name. The release date is set to be October 4th for the PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One. According to an earlier and since removed post on the Ghost Recon subreddit, Ghost Recon Breakpoint features the character Cole D. Walker, introduced in last week's Operation Oracle update for Ghost Recon Wildlands, in charge of an army of weaponized drones. The post, which the subreddit's moderators elected to take down for a host of reasons, called Breakpoint a story-driven four-player experience like 2017's Ghost Recon Wildlands. The store link, in German, was for a collector's edition of the game featuring a statuette of a cloaked figure brandishing two firearms. Polygon has reached out to Ubisoft for a comment on the leak, but the game's official Twitter account told fans to tune in today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time if you did want to dive in and see the future of Ghost Recon. But I would say this is a very valid leak. This is not one of those things where, hey, you are lying. No, this is actually what you're going to be getting today. And it's pretty exciting, I suppose, if you are a fan of Ghost Recon Wildlands. Of course, the game sold relatively well, but it wasn't that well received. It's improved, as many Tom Clancy games do. It's kind of pulled a division, if you will, where over the course of the past few years, as the game has kind of grown and evolved, you've been seeing more people picking it up and playing it and giving it a shot, on top of stuff like free weekends that do increase the amount of publicity that you are going to be getting. So we will learn a lot more about this today at 2:30. I'm not going to waste too much time speculating here, because again, literally in less than 12 hours, we'll know exactly what's going on with this game. But I thought I would go ahead and mention it because, hey, search engine optimization. Anyways, moving on to the next topic of the day, Fortnite Season 9 patch notes and details have been revealed. Epic Games has released patch notes for Fortnite version 9.0, which includes details on Fortnite Season 9 and its new locations, features, and more. Buckle in, it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. Fortnite's Season 9 Battle Pass is available now for 950 V-Bucks, about $9.50, and includes 100 levels and over 100 new rewards. New points of interest that have emerged from the destruction of the volcano include Neo Tilted and Mega Mall. A semi-automatic combat shotgun has been added that holds 10 shells, fires 9 pellets per shot, and has a tight spread and a fast fire rate. One of the biggest new features from version 9.0 are slipstreams, wind transportation systems consisting of wind tunnels that quickly carry players across to various locations around the map. But you can bob up and down to increase your speeds, and then, depending on your trajectory, you will then launch in that direction once you do finally hit the end of the slipstream. Players are then launched, and they can land wherever they will. In addition to this, air vents are new environmental items that launch players and grant immunity for fall damage. Fort Bites, a series of 100 collectible computer chips available to Battle Pass owners slowly decrypt a mysterious image when collected. 18 Fortbytes are available to find on day 1, and at least one new Fortbyte will be unlocked each day following this. Collecting all of the Fortbytes will unlock rewards, and they cannot be collected once Season 9 ends. There will be a rotation of 3 limited time modes: Trios, Solid Gold, and One Shot. Trios is classic BR with 3-person squads. Solid Gold is a fight to finish using legendary weapons, and One Shot includes low gravity and all players have 50 health. Only sniper weapons are available, and bandages are the only healing item. Fortnite Creative is also getting updates, including build your own imagined version of Neo Tilted, hover platforms, and a creature manager. Meadow Island, a 105 by 105 flat grass island, has been added along with a team rotation option, fighting options, and an allow out of bounds option. Fortnite Save the World is also getting updates. We're not going to talk about those because, hey, who cares about Save the World? Sorry, guys. But if you did want to dive in, seems like a pretty solid season. Of course, I think a lot of people were a bit disappointed with Season 8, but the new shotgun sounds very cool, and again, tons of new stuff coming via the new Battle Pass if you did want to check it out. Again, Slipstream's changing the game, and there is a trailer up right now on the official Fortnite YouTube channel, as well as many other outlets that kind of give you a hint of what you can expect, and it looks pretty good. So again, if you do want to dive in, the update is out right now. Again, Fortnite is free to play on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, the PC, iOS, and Android if you did want to give it a look. However, loot boxes may soon become illegal in the U.S. if a new bill passes. A U.S. senator has introduced a bill that would ban the sale of loot boxes in games played by minors, i.e. everything under M, pretty much. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, Republican of Montana, I believe? Might be Missouri. Hold on. I'm bad with state abbreviation. State. Hold on. State. Missouri. Nailed it, I think. Anyways, Republican Missouri announced he is introducing a bill that would potentially bar the sale of loot boxes in certain video games. If enacted, Hawley's bill, called the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act, would ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions in titles targeted at or popular among minors, liking the business model to addiction. Social media and video games prey on user addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world and extracting profits from fostering compulsive habits, Senator Hawley said in a statement. No matter this business model's advantages to the tech industry, one thing is clear: there is no excuse for exploiting children through such practices. When a game is designed for kids, game developers should not be allowed to monetize addiction. Game developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences. Hawley cites the popular mobile title Candy Crush Saga as an example, as it allows players to purchase $150 Luscious Bundle, to make the game easier, although it's certainly far from the only one title to offer these kinds of spending options. A large number of mobile games are designed to encourage microtransactions, and many of today's popular PC and console games, including PUBG, Rocket League, and Overwatch, give players the option to purchase loot boxes that contain a randomized assortment of cosmetic items. Hawley's bill will first need to pass the Senate and then the House of Representatives before potentially becoming a law. But this is not the first time U.S. lawmakers have taken aim at the practice. Last February, Hawaii State Representative Chris Lee put forward a bill seeking to limit the sale of video games with gambling-like mechanisms to people under the age of 21. Other countries have also undertaken investigations into whether or not loot boxes constituted gambling, and following Hawley's announcement, the Entertainment Software Association released a statement in response to the proposed legislation. Numerous countries, including Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, determined that loot boxes do not constitute gambling. We look forward to sharing with the Senator the tools and information the industry already provides that keeps the control of in-game spending in parents' hands. Parents already have the ability to limit or prohibit in-game purchases with easy-to-use parental controls. Of course, loot boxes have been a big point of controversy over the past couple of years, with 2017 Star Wars Battlefront 2 garnering a lot of criticism around the subject, and I think this could be a pretty good move. Of course, loot boxes overall aren't a necessity when it comes to games because of the fact that the foundation of the industry was built without them. Now, will companies willingly give them up and give in because they are such a lucrative form of currency and income for them? That's going to be a battle that I think is taken to the courts if this does in fact move forward. Now, of course, I don't believe this might actually ever get anywhere because capitalism is a big part of the United States, and so you're likely not going to be seeing anything along these lines. However, with that being said, we will see where these new laws go and where this bill does land, because again, it has to go through the Senate and the House of Representatives, but it could be a step closer to actually getting rid of loot boxes forever. Again, unlikely, but hey, who knows? However, Monster Hunter World has an impressive sales with the continuation of 12 million units shipped. That is a lot of Monster Hunters. We already knew that Monster Hunter World has become Capcom's best-selling game of all time, but the 2018 success story now continues as the game has reached a whopping 12 million units shipped worldwide. Announced as part of the company's 2018-19 financial results, the statement reads, Monster Hunter World continued to report strong sales, with total shipments breaking 12 million units, marking a record high for any single title in the company's history. It's an impressive number for a franchise that has only traditionally done well in Japan, but those aren't the only numbers worth making a fuss about. The recent Resident Evil 2 remake has now shipped over 4 million copies, while Devil May Cry 5 is sitting at a hefty, I would say, 2 million. It's not bad going at all for Capcom, who boast an 18 billion yen pre-tax profit. That's an increase of 18% when compared to the previous financial report. And of course, that is thanks to genuinely good games coming out. I think that Capcom has turned around in a big way. It is really phenomenal to see where that company has ended up after just a very small period of time. Truly, Monster Hunter World blew people away. Now, I did not play it because it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but the fact that they simplified the mechanics while not oversimplifying them really enticed a lot more people to kind of come in and see what all the hubbub was about. On top of that, Resident Evil 2 Remake is phenomenal. It is a beautiful game, very well done, that stays true to the original, and fans absolutely fell in love with that. On top of that, Devil May Cry 5 doing very well. Believe it was the best-selling entry in the franchise to date. I could be wrong about that one, but again, you have the original Devil May Cry coming out on the Switch later on this summer, so it could be another big year for Capcom, and I do hope this continues because they are genuinely pumping out some very impressive games, and of course those very impressive games are bound to bring in some pretty impressive numbers. But on top of that, Halo the Master Chief Collection is supporting cross-platform progression between PC and the Xbox One. When Halo the Master Chief Collection finally comes to PC, it's going to support a few key and welcome features. Players who already put hours into the Xbox One version of Halo the Master Chief Collection will find that their progression, unlocks, stats, and all other account-related data will transfer to PC easily. Both platforms will connect to the same service, Xbox Live after all, so it makes sense. This was confirmed by Halo community director Brian Sketch Gerard on Twitter when a fan specifically asked about the possibility, which obviously begs the question, does this also extend to cross-platform matchmaking and co-op? According to Gerard, it won't be there at launch, but it's a future the team is evaluating, and that could be a pretty exciting reality. And so, of course, the final launch for the first entry, Halo Reach, I believe, is delayed by a good bit, but we should be seeing it at least in the next couple of months, if even that. It could be very much so sooner, but I think this is a pretty good move. Of course, a ton of people have already played Halo the Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One. I played through all of the games back when I had an Xbox One. That's how long it has been. Of course, with the game being out for nearly 5 years now, it's kind of a no-brainer to say that, hey, people bought an Xbox One to play Halo, and they have actually done that. And so to be able to transfer that over to PC, where things look better, where the matchmaking is obviously going to be better, we're going to have a better experience if you are a PC gamer now, is a fantastic move, and one that I will, without a doubt, be taking advantage of, because I definitely put in a good many hours on Halo the Master Chief Collection, and to see all of that work, you know, actually valued at the end of the day, something that I think is pretty cool. So if you do want to dive in and check out the Master Chief Collection, each game is going to be released individually as time goes on PC. So the first one is Halo Reach, and then I believe they will go chronologically from there, so you can kind of get the entire scope of the full story. I could be wrong about that one, but they're releasing them individually. I do know that. However, I do have a really cool looking game to tell you about. If you're a fan of John Wick, this one is going to definitely pique your interest. There is a brand new game called Wick Hex, and it is a brand new action strategy game developed by Mike Bithell, the creator of Thomas Was Alone and Volume. And I will say, checking out the trailer, if you were a fan of Volume, you are going to be a fan of Wick Hex. Today, Lionsgate and publisher Good Shepherd Entertainment have announced Wick Hex, a strategy game based on the titular Hitman, coming exclusively to the Epic Games Store for PC and Mac at launch, with a console released planned for a later date. Developed by Mike Bithell, creator of Volume, Thomas Was Alone, and most recently Subsurface Circular, in conjunction with the creative and stunt teams behind the scenes, Wick Hex is billed as fight choreographed chess, where you take on the role of Keanu Reeves' brutally efficient assassin, strategically planning his moves and attacks like a fast-paced puzzle as the cost and consequences of those actions come into play. Presented in a colorful graphic art noir style, John Wick Hex will feature the voice talents of Ian McShane and Lance Reddick, seemingly reprising their characters from the film franchise, and feature an original story created for the game that will expand on the John Wick universe. As Wick, you will have the opportunity to unlock new weapons and with them new tactics, alongside new locations and new options for his iconic suit, though ammunition is finite, so scavenging weapons on the job will be key to progressing through it. And so here are a couple of screenshots for you if you did want to check it out. But overall, very cool looking game. I am very excited to see what the future of this one does look like because, hey, it's a very neat looking art style. On top of that, it could work out very well. Now, Volume was a big game on PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4 that I think was pretty well received. I was a big fan of it. I thought that it did a lot of things right when it comes to strategy, but also keeping the action flowing and keeping you kind of on your feet. And John Wick, of course, is all about strategy and action. So to be able to see Mike Bithell sourced for an official John Wick game is, number one, fantastic, because that is one cool dude. I've been watching some of his interviews and stuff over the years. He's been on Kinda Funny a couple of times, and they are very good people over at the Bithell Games department, which is mainly himself, but you know what I'm saying. So if you did want to dive in, again, the game is coming out soon for the Windows Game, or excuse me, the Epic Game Store, and then coming soon to consoles as well. A bit more complex than Volume, I believe, but it's cool to see this kind of cost mechanism inserted into the game. I think that adds a certain level of depth that some people might be looking for. So again, if you do want to check out the John Wick Chapter 3 movie Parabellum, it hits theaters on May the 17th. Of course, a collaboration pretty much directly in conjunction with this film. But if that's not your cup of tea, we'll finalize out today's episode of Caffeinate with a free game for you in your browser. You don't even have to have a console. You can play the original Minecraft for free. Minecraft is celebrating its 10th birthday by making classic easily playable on the web. Minecraft is celebrating its 10th birthday by making its classic version easily playable on web browsers. You don't need to download any files to make it work, and you don't have to pay a cent for access. Since Classic was only the second phase in the game's development cycle, its features are pretty limited. You will only have 32 blocks to work with, most of which are dyed wool, and it's strictly creative mode only. But who needs zombies, skeletons, and other mobs when you have a version's decade-old bugs to contend with anyways? Another downside, as Games Radar noted, it doesn't seem like you can save whatever it is built. Still, you could be trying to figure out a way to spend a lazy day. Maybe you're laying in bed, you want to do something with Minecraft, but you don't want to move your big lazy ass out of bed and go get on your PS4, your PC. So hey, grab your laptop and play around in the browser. But no, legitimately, this is pretty much a version of Minecraft that is built specifically for those that are bored in class. That's the way that I perceive this. You know, as somebody who is graduating college, the past 4 years have pretty much consisted of me marginally paying attention while also trying to find fun games in my browser to play whenever they aren't talking. So this is a pretty good go-to for a lot of people, especially considering you can just kind of futz around in it for a couple of minutes and boom, there you go. You have built something out of 32 blocks. But if you did want to dive in, again, it is available right now via the web browser in celebration of the 10th anniversary of Minecraft, which is a very big anniversary at that. However, that does round out today's episode of Caffeinate. Of course, if you are brand new to the show, I do hope you enjoyed today's episode, and this is hosted 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, at 7 a.m. Eastern Time if you did want to check it out live on twitch.tv/TheSamuelAdams, but of course, then it's taken down and put up on podcast services around the world, as well as youtube.com/SamuelAdamsMedia. But until tomorrow, you guys have a phenomenal rest of your Thursday, and peace.